Hey guys, what's up? This is Francisco with Valareso Capital, and in today's video we're gonna go through the weekly watch list. We're gonna go through three names that I'm watching. I'm watching QQQ, the SPY, and the ARK ETF. We're gonna go through the vehicles that I'm gonna use to trade these names if we happen to have a pullback tomorrow after the PPI. Remember that I'm looking always for exhaustion into the trends, so that way I can get in at some levels that are really low risk. So basically I'm just waiting for a pullback, right? So we're gonna go through the levels. Also, I think that going forward from this point on, I'm gonna wait for Monday's close before going into the weekly watch list. The reason that I'm doing that is because there's one indicator that I usually don't tend to show you guys on the weekly, on the weekend videos, because this indicator gets calculated after the opening of the week. So this indicator is the quant pivot indicator developed by John Carter. And basically what this indicator does, which is the indicator with these lines here, basically this indicator calculates the standard deviations above the opening of the week and below the opening of the week. So these levels tend to be really accurate in terms to finding resistance and support, and I use them for my entry levels and also for my target levels. So I think that it's gonna be a benefit for you to see these indicators play out during the week, and by waiting until Monday's close you can see these indicators and also see the levels. So I can give you a better analysis on what is actually that I'm looking for and how I'm actually trading these names during the week. So also, before moving forward, guys, I just want to thank one of the subscribers, Maggie. Thank you so much for the amazing comment that you just gave. Those are some really important words for me. That's one of the reasons that I keep going with this channel, is to help you guys. I'm sure that this channel will continue to grow and more people are going to be able to find this information valuable. So once again, Maggie, thank you so much for those really kind words. Now moving on with the analysis here for the week. Let's just make this a really quick and an easy video to understand. Let me just pull out the watch list here. Let's first start here with the QQQ. And I'm just gonna keep things really simple, guys. You can see that I have an active buy signal from last Thursday. We had a really strong move to the upside, and we have everything lining up pretty nicely for some continuation, right? We have the squeeze and we have the momentum in the trend oscillator already above the 50 line, so that's really strong. That's something that we're looking for. And also you can see that right now we're seeing some pause, right? So this video is being recorded Monday 14 of November. You can see that here, right, we have the close. We end up closing at the lows of the day, so that opens the door for a possible pullback tomorrow after PPI. So remember that PPI is going to be announced tomorrow before the market opens. It's going to be announced at 8:30, and is also related to inflation. And of course, it is a binary. It is a binary event, meaning that the reaction to that event is going to be completely random. Now, what is the plan? We don't have to predict what the reaction is going to be. We just have to understand what are the levels that we want to act on. So if we happen to get certain reaction, we're going to act on those levels. So my expectation is that if we happen to get a bearish reaction, I'm going to be looking to buy the pullback. I'm going to be looking to buy the pullback coming right here into that first standard deviation. Why I'm looking to buy that first standard deviation of support? Because you can see that here we have kind of a conglomeration of EMAs. We have the 21 exponential, which is the CN EMA. I also have the 50 hourly, the 200 hourly, and also we have the 10-week moving average. So any pullback around this standard deviation here, which is going to be somewhere around 275.80, I'm going to be a buyer for that move. And of course, where is going to be the stop? The way that I'm gonna manage that trade, I'm gonna set a stop below that second standard deviation. So I'm gonna be looking to buy that first standard deviation, setting a stop below that second standard deviation, and of course the targets are gonna be the standard deviations above. Now, what is the expectation? The expectation is that we pull back here. We're probably gonna see some chop here, but then I'm expecting some continuation to come all the way up to close that gap. That's a pretty That's a pretty strong move to the upside, but that's the expectation that I'm having for this month. And the reason why I'm having that expectation is based on the things that we are already talking about, which is the squeeze. You can see that the last time that we had a squeeze in the QQQ and we had that momentum of the trend oscillator going above zero, here is the squeeze. You can see that we had a pretty strong move to the upside. So I'm actually looking for a similar move going into the end of this month and probably the end of the year. So that's gonna be the way that I'm gonna execute the QQQ. I'm gonna execute the QQQ going long the TQQQ. The TQQQ is the 3x leverage ETF, and that leverage ETF is gonna provide us somewhere around an 8% move in average per day. So that's going to be a pretty strong move to the upside if we happen to get it. And remember guys, the levels that I already gave you for the QQQ, so you can set your buys and your stops somewhere around those levels. And remember, if you have your own system, you can of course kind of integrate what I'm saying with your system as well. Now let's take a look at the SPY. I'm also looking to get long the SPY. And the place that I'm going to be looking to get long the SPY is actually the same one, right? You can see right here that we have an active buy signal. We have that trend oscillator above the 50 line. We have a squeeze that is actually trying to fire long here. And you can see right here that we had a pretty strong move, right? We had a pretty strong move from that 200 hourly all the way up here. You can see that we are extended, meaning that there is a gap between price and that 50 hourly, which is the yellow moving average, is a 50 hourly moving average. So we have a gap between price and the 50 hourly moving average. And what I'm looking for here is that if we happen to have any pullback to that first standard deviation and that 50 hourly and 21 EMA start to catch up a little bit with price, I'm gonna be looking to get long the SPY at those levels. And also, if you follow volume profiles, I do have the volume profile point of control for the month somewhere around that level as well. So I'm going to be waiting for that pullback. So I'm not looking to get long the SPY at these levels. At these levels, we are extended, and it becomes a challenge to manage risk when you are buying extended names. So what is going to be the plan? The plan is going to be the same, trying to get long as close to that 21 exponential as possible, and then setting a stop below that second standard deviation, and then looking for a move all the way to 410.97 to close that gap above. So that's going to give us a pretty nice risk reward in this trade. So that's going to be with the SPY, and I'm looking to trade the SPY using the UPRO, which is also the 3x leverage ETF in the SPY. And then finally, let's take a look at ARK. And I also have an active buy signal in ARK, and this is the first active buy signal that I have going all the way back to August. So we had a pretty strong move to the downside in ARK, but now we're starting to see some kind of ARK is trying to turn things around here. So what is going to be the plan? The plan is going to be exactly the same. You can see that we had a pretty strong move. We're finding some resistance at that level of 39.75, and what I'm going to be looking for is I'm going to be looking to buy a pullback into that first standard deviation. Why that first standard deviation? Because we also have the 21 exponential moving average, and we have one of my favorite moving average, which is the 200 hourly moving average, which is the pink line in my charts. And you can see that the 200 hourly tends to act pretty amazingly on ARK. You can see that we found resistance right there. We found resistance right there. And you can see that here we try to win above it. We find resistance at the 10-week, and now we're back above that 200 hourly. So any pullbacks into that first standard deviation is going to be an opportunity to manage risk in this position, and the plan is going to be the same. Buy any pullbacks into that first standard deviation, have a stop below that second standard deviation, and then look for a move all the way back to 44.71 for a close of the gap above. And you can see right here that we do have a squeeze that is setting up on ARK. So this one is looking pretty amazing, and the way that I'm going to trade this one, I'm going to trade this one with TARK, which is TARK, and that's also the 3x leverage ETF, is the 3x leverage ETF for ARK. So I'm just going to leave the video right there, guys, so we can keep it short and sweet. I think that the market is setting up probably for a pullback tomorrow based on the information that I'm seeing on price. Of course, remember that tomorrow is going to be a binary event once again with the PPI, and we just have to wait for our levels to get hit before we actually get into the trade. So I'm not looking, if we happen to gap up tomorrow, I'm not going to buy it. I'm just going to watch and then wait for a new setup. So once again, thank you so much guys for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and also if you like the analysis and why I think the 21 exponential moving average is a very important EMA, remember to watch the video that I have on the 21 exponential. You should see a link in this video. It's one of my most viewed videos on YouTube, and I think it's a really great analysis on the 21 exponential moving average. It's kind of one of my first videos when I first started doing some videos here in YouTube, but it actually has some really good information. So once again, thank you so much guys for watching. Have an amazing trading week, manage risk, and take care. Thank you. Bye bye. Peace.